With week 2 in the books, let's take a look at fantasy basketball add and drops coming up next on Beat the Odds. Don't go anywhere. Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another episode of Beat the Odds. We are going to dive into our fantasy basketball adds and drops here after week 2. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button there for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's get started here with the list of people, if you have them on your teams, to seriously consider dropping. We are going to start with a couple of guards here. First one up on the list is Caris LeVert. Now, he did have that explosive 41-point game against Boston earlier in the week. He followed that up with a 1-point performance with 8 assists here in the win against New York. Volatile shooter by the looks of it. I'm guessing he's going to be averaging in around the 10 points per game. A little high on the roster right now here for me at 69%, especially with the fact that we're looking at Darius Garland going to be returning back from injury here in the not too distant future. I don't really see Caris LeVert being very roster worthy once that happens. So if you have somebody who's interested in trading with you, or if there's a hot player on the waiver wires, I would consider making that switch here now before it's too late. Next up on my list here, for the second week in a row, we have Alex Caruso. In the last week here, posted 5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on 36% shooting, 83% from the line, 25 minutes per game. He has a limited offensive role here with the Chicago Bulls, and nothing really has changed in the way that I feel about him here from last week to this week. I think he's going to lose even more minutes here. Ayo Dosunmu looks like he's going to be coming on pretty strong, and I imagine he's going to get the lion's share of point guard minutes, especially when Lonzo Ball is out. And when he returns, it's just going to muddy up Caruso's situation even further. Currently owned in 52% of leagues. I would imagine that number will drop under 50% by the end of the week. We've got a couple of forwards here for you to take a look at dropping from your team. First up here for Sacramento, Harrison Barnes, currently owned in 65% of leagues. His splits from last week, you're looking at 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 42% from the field, 72% from the line. In 31 minutes, he's going to be losing his minute share to an up-and-coming Keegan Murray. And as he does that, he's going to become less and less fantasy relevant. He was already a bit of a boring pick to begin with, somebody you might get for, 15, 6, and 3 over the course of the season. But I don't even think he's going to hit that numbers with his limited role now, and the fact that he's not a mainstay in that offensive production there in Sacramento. Brandon Clark's up next here. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 68% from the field, 73% from the line in 17 minutes. Currently owned in 61% of Yahoo leagues. Sandy Aldama is not really running away with that starting position. I wouldn't be shocked if down the road he gets flipped with Brandon Clark, but again, we've got Triple J looming in the wind here. He's going to be coming back. People are starting to say he might be back before the end of the year, which would make all the more reason why we shouldn't be investing in on a Brandon Clark right now. I don't see his upside being very big over the next month or two if he does get more minutes, just to lose them to, of course, Triple J when he gets back. Now, it does pay me to put this player on my list because I think he's very talented, and I have a few of his rookie cards in my collection. But we have James Wiseman for the Golden State Warriors, 61% owned. In his last week, he had 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 63% from the field, 65% from the line, in 14 minutes of play. He's just not getting the time right now. I don't think he is going to be on the drop candidates here over the course of the year, but right now he's kind of like LeVert in the sense that, you may benefit from hanging on to him here over the course of the year, but if you don't have the space, if you want a little bit more flexibility and stuff there and want to go for a free agent that's going to be helpful for you now, I wouldn't question that decision there for you. I think that it's going to be difficult to crack minutes, especially when the Golden State Warriors go small. There doesn't leave really any room for Wiseman or Looney. If you look at both of their minutes put together, you don't get 48 minutes from both players there combined. So I don't really see much of a point for Wiseman at this point. He may surprise later on in the year if he happens to get hot. All right, now it's time for some players that you should consider picking up for your squad. We're going to start in Los Angeles with the Clippers. Norman Powell, currently sitting at 49% owned. His last week looked like 11 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 40% from the field, 60% from the line. Not super overwhelming numbers, 26 minutes played here. However, it looks like Kawhi Leonard's knee situation is going to be an ongoing thing over the course of the year, and we already know that you need to factor in those issues as you deal with a player like Leonard and Paul George to some extent. So Norm Powell would be a safer bet to put on your team here, where he may end up getting a week's worth of really good production for you if they happen to sit one of their superstars over the course of that week. And frankly, you can do far worse with somebody who is less than 50% owned. So if he's out there in your league and you were looking to get some good potential numbers here, go ahead and pick him up. Next up here, be careful with the spelling on this. You want Jalen Williams, as spelt above here, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just got back from injury, posted a 13-3-3 line, 4 steals on 63% from the field, 100% from the line in 27 minutes. They're talking about increasing his workload over 30 minutes. I love that mark here, especially for a young player. We should get you some big hustle stats. Got the 4 steals in his first game back. So he's somebody that will be probably the hottest pickup here for fantasy over the course of the week. So if you got an opportunity to pick him up and take a look, I don't think that would be a bad idea. Second week in a row, we are talking about him to pick up. We have Royce O'Neal for the Brooklyn Nets, 47% owned. 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists here in the past week on 35% from the field. 3 3-pointers made per game, and he's getting a whopping 38 minutes on that squad. The 38 minutes alone on a faster pace Brooklyn Nets team is reason enough for me to pick him up. He's got a high floor. Very difficult to think that you're going to get a poor week from Royce O'Neal. He's not going to make any huge moves there in your standings, but he's certainly going to be a good glue guy and definitely well worth it at 47% owned here. If he's in your league there, go ahead and grab him. Coming up next, we have Marcus Morris Sr. for the Clippers. Second Clipper to feature here in the under squad. He has 33% ownership right now over Yahoo. We're looking at 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists on 41% shooting, 2 3-pointers made, and 27 minutes played for the team. He is another one that may benefit from a Kawhi Leonard and potentially Paul George less squad. He's going to be counted on a little bit more heavily in those situations to produce. And right now, without Leonard, I'm anticipating that he's going to be in line for a pretty solid week here. So he's not one that's a bad idea to consider. He's getting a solid amount of minutes here and should be able to rack in some good points and rebounds and sprinkle in a little threes there for you as well. Also, he qualifies for the center position, which is always a nice thing in fantasy. Last but not least, center for the New York Knicks, Isaiah Hartenstein, 48% owned. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 53% from the field, 75% from the line in 22 minutes. Currently starting behind Mitchell Robinson, who's notoriously good at getting fouls. I imagine you will see Hartenstein pick up some extra minutes here down the road. He's a solid source for rebounds and points. Will probably get you a block a game here. Won't hurt you on percentages. Somebody you should definitely target there. The low-end center, maybe a center 3 in your league if you need the extra rebounding stats. And that does it for this week's Over-Under. If you liked the content, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also leave a comment if you got a player in mind that you'd like me to feature on next week's Over-Under. I will take a look at that, and you may be called out in that episode. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are going to sign off for now, but we're going to catch you guys on a future episode.